Notes from A Liar and Her Dog, Chapter 19, The Mathathon. I have never been to a mathathon before. Caveman told me how it works, though. He said they give each kid a problem and then they start a giant wall-sized stopwatch. Whoever finishes the problem correctly before the buzzer buzzes goes to the next heat. 6 kids from my class are in my section. Joyce Ann Jensen, Alexandra Duncan, Keegan and Madison, and some other kids I don't know very well, mainly because the smart kids don't hang around Harrison and me. In fact, Joyce Ann is staring at me now as if I'm the last person in the world she expected to be here. I look around for Harrison. I wish he'd come together. I wish we'd come together. He should be here by now because I'm so late that this lady in a blue dress is already herding 6th graders onto the auditorium stage where 20 desks and chairs are set up. I file in behind Joyce Ann Jensen and choose a desk as far from the audience as possible. I sit down and rock back in my chair and make my eyes into slits, as if I couldn't care less about any stupid mathathon. I don't want to test my brain against other kids. It reminds me of competing with Elizabeth. Every time I'm up against her, I lose. And if I don't lose, everyone thinks I cheated. Harrison is right. I don't belong here. I get up to leave, then I see just Carol. She waves at me and I wave back. Then I do some lame, made-up emotions, as if I only stood up to stretch. I do this badly, like I am a close relation to Goofy. Now, the answer lady in the blue dress starts talking about the rules. She is describing them in such detail she is making them twice as complicated as they really are. In the event your pencil lead breaks or there's a disturbance such as a fire alarm, blah, blah, blah. Finally, she hands out the problems. Then, I'm not nervous, I'm bored. It's so easy, a kindergartner could do it. I draw doodles on mine because I am done way early. In fact, everybody finishes early, and by the time the buzzer goes off, the answer lady and her student helpers have already checked all the cards. Then the answer lady clicks on her microphone. Excellent! 100% correct on the first heat. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these kids a hand. By the 4th round, things start to get interesting, and we lose a few people. Now it takes me the whole time to get the answer right, and I'm wishing I never agreed to this. Why did I, anyway? Maybe, after this round, I should drop out. I don't really know how smart I am, and I'd rather not find out. I'm twice as stupid as I thought. Why didn't I think of this before? I look out at just Carol. She is busy talking to Caveman. Maybe I could develop a sudden case of stomach flu. The trick is I have to get it quick before the rounds. Not with a math problem sitting in front of me. I don't want it to look like I really couldn't do the question. Only I'm too late now as the answer lady's helper kid has just given me the 5th question. Shoot. I tap my pencil on the desk. I don't like lies that require a big performance. And besides that, this question is way hard. It's about a group of kids and how old they are if one is twice another's age and so on. It's tricky, and I have to do it twice to make sure I have the right answer. When the buzzer rings and the helper kids check the cards, Keegan and Madison and 2 other smart kids from my class are out, but I am not. I have my hand raised to tell the answer lady I've got to throw up when one of the smart kids looks back at me. He is clearly surprised that I am up here and he is not. Something about this makes my blood burn. When the answer lady calls on me, my mouth answers, never mind. But as soon as they hand out the 7th round questions, I'm furious at myself. Why didn't I go when I had the chance? This one is way too hard. What if I really am stupid? I shouldn't try my hardest. This is a dumb idea. If I try my hardest and fail, then what? My face feels sweaty. My armpits are hot. Now I hate Just Carol. It's her fault I'm going to make a fool of myself. Why did she come to this mathathon anyway? Our teachers aren't supposed to come to a mathathons. If she wasn't here, I'd leave right now. But while I'm thinking this, part of my brain is busy working a problem. My pencil's figuring the computations. They take a long time and the big second hand is ticking loud. Critic, critic, critic. I figure the answer with 30 seconds to spare and I breathe easier. I walk up and give my page to the answered lady when suddenly I see the mistake. It pops up in my brain like toast from the toaster. I sit down in a close-up seat and change the answer, then race to the answer lady just as the buzzer goes off. The answer lady's head is down as she checks our answer cards. There are only 3 of us now, so she doesn't need help from the helper kids. I look over at Joyce Ann Jensen. She got her answer in early. She does her homework early, too. I wonder if she eats her breakfast the night before so she can have that done early, too. The answer lady's head shoots up. She smooths her blue dress. I don't want to hear what she says, but I am dying to know. The PA clicks on. I keep looking at Harrison, pretending to ignore the answer lady. I can't read this, the answer lady says. It must be Ann. Ann McPherson, the answer lady says. The District 2 math champion for the 6th grade is Miss Ann McPherson from Sarah's Road School. Jasper Schwartz from Laredo Middle School and Joyce Ann Jensen from Sarah's Road School are our runners-up. Congratulations to all of you. Harrison hears too. He pushes his hair out of his eyes and smiles at me. Then he jumps on the stage and walks to the microphone. The answer lady looks very uncomfortable, like he isn't supposed to be up there, and maybe she should call the National Guard. I am wondering what the heck he's doing. This is very un-Harrison-like behavior. Excuse me, Harrison says. He takes the microphone. Her name is Aunt, he says. Then he hands the microphone back to the answer lady. Aunt, the answer lady tries this out. Aunt McPherson. Harrison is smiling his one dimpled smile. Apparently he's not so worried anymore. He actually looks proud, as if we won this together, and I guess in a way we did. Everybody is clapping. Just Carol and Caveman are cheering and stamping their feet. The answer lady gives me a big old trophy cup and a certificate for a free ice cream sundae from 31 Flavors. And some guy in a knit hat is taking my picture. I think about how there are no trophies this big in my house. There is a big smile on my face. I don't mean for it to be there. It just is. It isn't a phony smile either. It's like the feelings inside me are spilling out the hole in my face. I look out at the audience. There isn't one person in this whole auditorium who thinks I'm stupid. No one here thinks Elizabeth is smarter than me either. No one cares about Elizabeth at all. Everyone is clapping for me. No wonder Elizabeth likes this so much. Just Carol seems very excited. She can hardly stop talking about what happened. She insists I describe every single problem, even the easy ones. I do, except I leave out the part about the stomach flu I was planning to get and how, if I hadn't seen her, I would have walked out before the thing even started. I'm so happy I didn't do this. When Just Carol is finally out of question, she looks around, and I think she is wondering if my mother is here. Then she says, I'd love to take you two to lunch. Would you like to call your parents and see if it's okay? Sure, I say, mostly because I don't want this all to end. I want her to keep asking me questions and thinking I am smart for the whole rest of the day. When I call, no one is at my house. I leave a message on the tape where I am, then Harrison and Just Carol and me go to lunch. We go to McDonald's and I have only French fries. Just Carol lets me too. That is how great this day is. When we get to my house, my mom is in the yard clipping dead lavender off a bush. Kate is sitting in the shade of our maple tree, rolling pennies. My mom looks up at the sound of Just Carol's scarf. She gets her clippers down, straightens her straw hat, and walks towards us. The trophy is so big, Just Carol put it in the trunk, and now she has jumped out of the car to get it. She picks up my shiny brass trophy and hands it over to me. The way she does this, it's as if I won it all over again. So what is this? My mother asks. She holds her chin with one hand and her elbow with the other. She stares at the trophy like she's never seen one before. Antonia won first place in the math-a-thon, Just Carol exclaims. We are all very proud of her. Just Carol is smiling so wide the corners of her mouth are practically touching her dingly earrings. You know, I've always been good in math too, my mother says. She smiles at Just Carol. Just Carol nods. She stares at the trowel in my mom's pocket. And were you there in your capacity as an art teacher? My mother asks. Just Carol frowns. More or less. I'm surprised they had room for you, but not for any of the parents, my mother says. Room? Just Carol asks. My mother stares at me. I thought you told me they couldn't get the gym space. They had to hold it in the library, so they uninvited all the parents. She waits for me to say something. I say nothing. I am swinging my trophy by one of its handles. I know I have to be careful here. I can't lie to just Carol. That is our deal. My mother runs her tongue over her teeth. Apparently, that isn't true, my mother says. The mathathon was in the auditorium. There was plenty of room, just Carol says. She's looking at me. I wonder if she is going to be mad about this. Liar, liar, ants on fire, Kate sings from her patch of shade under the maple tree. Well, I couldn't have gone anyway. It was my eldest daughter's dress rehearsal for the Nutcracker. She is Clara, you know, my mother says as she runs her hand down her neck. It is long like mine, not squat like your Highness's. I had never noticed this before. No, of course you couldn't, I say as I started towards the house. Everybody understands that. What exactly do you mean by that, young lady? My mother asks me. Nothing. I'm only agreeing with you is all. I'm in complete agreement, I say as I pull open the front door.